Ever wonder how your pure energy throws people off, leaving them grappling with truths they'd rather keep hidden? How does it feel knowing your very essence, a quiet, unstoppable justice, reveals the illusions they thought would never see the light? You, a chosen one, wield a purity so unmistakable it unsettles those around you. This purity isn't meekness but a quiet strength, an authenticity so rare it leaves others guessing. The mask of innocence you wear is not a disguise you crafted, it's the natural state of your spirit. And it's precisely this unguarded, open nature that disorients others. They see a straightforward presence, a heart without walls, and assume you're easily led or perhaps even naive. They misread your simple honesty as weakness, never considering that you hold a depth of purpose they cannot perceive. This miscalculation on their part only deepens their confusion as they find themselves caught off guard, unable to categorize or control you in the way they expected. They mistook kindness for naivety, thinking they could manipulate or influence you, unaware of the divine heart that lies at the core of your being. Your compassion is not born of ignorance. It's a choice rooted in wisdom and strength. The kindness you extend isn't for the sake of appeasing others, but a conscious decision to stay true to your essence. This is where your hidden power lies. Where others might twist and bend to please or to gain, you remain unmovable, a pillar of light that pierces through all illusions. Every act of sincerity and goodwill becomes a beacon, exposing false intentions around you. They don't realize that with each genuine gesture, you are silently testing the quality of their hearts. Their motives stand exposed, not through confrontation or force, but by the mere contrast against your purity, a mirror that shows them as they are. Moses, a chosen leader in the annals of history, embodied this same clarity and purity of purpose. Standing before Pharaoh, Moses was a man of few words, yet his presence alone conveyed the depth of his calling. He did not need grand displays to convey his mission. His unwavering belief and straightforward spirit unsettled those who attempted to manipulate or overpower him. Pharaoh's heart, hardened and resistant, could not withstand the purity of Moses' conviction. With each refusal to yield, Moses illuminated the underlying pride and stubbornness of his oppressors, revealing not only his strength, but the oppressive structures they had long concealed. His mere presence was a disruption, a light piercing through an empire's deeply embedded shadows. Similarly, David's purity baffled both his allies and enemies. He was young, seemingly fragile and underestimated, yet his faith and sincerity were unmatched. Goliath, towering and armored, laughed at the boy approaching with nothing but a sling and stones. But David's purity was his strength, his faith was his weapon. Standing there, unprotected and vulnerable, he faced down the hardened warrior with a courage that bewildered everyone. In David's purity was an audacity, a disarming power that defied earthly logic. His triumph was more than victory. It was a revelation that strength is not in stature or weaponry, but in the unwavering conviction of a heart aligned with truth. Esther too demonstrated this quiet strength. In a royal court filled with deception and schemes, she maintained a simple purity, concealing nothing, hiding no agendas. When the time came to reveal her intentions, her courage shone through. Her words alone, without manipulation or embellishment, exposed the plots of Haman, disarming him entirely. Esther's purity held a power that stripped the mask from those who sought to destroy her people, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. It was her innocence that gave her the courage to confront the king without fear, and in doing so, she shone light into the darkness that had taken root within the very halls of power. You, like these figures, are an embodiment of purity that commands attention, not through force, but through the unshakable integrity that radiates from within. Others might see simplicity, even weakness in this openness, but they fail to grasp that it's a divine shield. Your purity, your kindness are not passive. They are weapons as powerful as any blade, making truth unavoidable, stripping illusions bare, and leaving deceit with nowhere to hide. In a world that thrives on artifice, your essence alone is an act of quiet revolution. You, as the ultimate symbol of justice, carry a presence that shakes the very foundations of what people believe to be stable. This isn't the kind of justice that needs the roar of a courtroom or the weight of authority to prove its strength. No, your justice arrives quietly, demanding without words, leaving others uncertain and exposed. It's a justice that refuses to be swayed by the usual tricks, the veiled motivations, or the carefully placed words of those who think they can hide their true selves. Just by being yourself, you create a disruption, a disturbance in the comfortable rhythms of those around you. They cannot rely on pretense or excuse. In your presence, those false securities crumble, leaving only what is true. This is justice in its rawest form, one that shakes the status quo without lifting a finger. And then there is the weight of realization that comes when others meet the reflection of their own intentions in you. In the clear mirror of your presence, they see their true motivations laid bare. The lies they tell themselves, the convenient deceptions they have woven, now hover visibly around them, forced into the open. They start to recognize the shadows they carry, the concealed motives and desires that have quietly driven their actions. In the unclouded truth of your presence, they are made to confront these shadows, forced to acknowledge aspects of themselves they would rather ignore. There is no judgment from you, yet this very lack of accusation heightens their awareness, amplifying their discomfort and the unmistakable call to accountability. Moses, too, stood as a beacon of divine justice, unwavering before the power structures of his day. When he stood before Pharaoh, he brought not the strength of armies, but the strength of conviction, the justice of a heart aligned with divine purpose. His presence alone, unadorned by threats or force, exposed the Pharaoh's oppressive pride, unraveling the illusion of control that had bound his people. Moses didn't need to shout or rage. His steadfast purity spoke louder than any weapon. In Moses, the Pharaoh encountered an incorruptible force, a justice that saw through pretense, leaving him exposed and vulnerable against his own arrogance. Similarly, David, the young shepherd chosen to be king, embodied a pure, quiet strength that disarmed those around him. Confronted by the towering might of Goliath, David stood small and underestimated. His innocence, a mere boy with a sling, was seen as a vulnerability. Yet this very purity was his greatest power, a strength born not of worldly armor, but of divine trust. In facing Goliath, David revealed the giant's own weakness, the arrogance and misplaced confidence that relied solely on brute strength. With one single stone, David's justice shattered the illusion of invincibility Goliath had cloaked himself in, proving that true strength lies in faith and humility. Esther, a queen in a foreign land, exemplified the quiet might of purity. She moved through a court teeming with hidden motives and treachery. Yet her presence alone was enough to dismantle the schemes around her. She didn't need deception to confront Haman's evil. Her purity and courage laid bare the corruption he had worked so carefully to conceal. Standing before the king, Esther revealed her heart without shame or manipulation, and in doing so, she brought the weight of her justice upon Haman. Her unadorned truth became his undoing, a mirror reflecting his malice back onto him. Her justice, her integrity, held him accountable in a way he could not escape. In your own way you embody this justice. Through purity you demand honesty, calling people to see themselves without illusion. The consequences of their actions resonate in your presence, not through words, but through the silent weight of truth. They feel, almost physically, the reflection of their own intentions as they interact with you. And in that quiet strength, there's accountability they can't escape. This isn't about condemning, it's about standing so clear, so unwavering, that they're reminded real justice doesn't need force. It's simply the power of clarity. Obsidian inner order, powered by astral atom, is calling. This is a fortress for those who live by this code of silent strength and unwavering truth. Here you'll find tools to deepen your clarity, insights to strengthen your resolve, and a circle of powerful souls who mirror your integrity. Obsidian Inner Order provides you with the knowledge and energy needed to amplify your impact, refine your power, and stand even stronger as the living embodiment of justice. The link is in the description below. The world may look at you and see simplicity, a lack of worldly power or size, yet within you lies a quiet confidence, a faith that does not need validation. This strength is not something that demands recognition. It stands firm, anchored in purpose and rooted in resilience. Like David, you are not deterred by the towering obstacles before you, these giants of circumstance or opposition. They might laugh at your unassuming presence, scoff at the simplicity of your methods, but their laughter only deepens the resolve within you, reinforcing a power they cannot perceive. Your strength, like David's, rises in the face of condescension, proving that true power is not in outward appearance, but in an unbreakable spirit. This strength of yours doesn't announce itself, doesn't parade as force or aggression. Instead, it is the unwavering assurance of purpose that guides each step, each choice. When others measure themselves by their armor, their achievements, or their authority, you measure yourself by an inner compass that points unwaveringly to what is true and good. Like David's simple sling, your actions may seem ordinary, unremarkable to those who look only for grandeur, but in this simplicity lies an unparalleled power, for it's the purity of your purpose that transforms the small into the mighty. One small act, one word rooted in integrity, can topple walls that appear impenetrable, dismantling illusions and proving that true strength is quiet, steady, and unstoppable. And like David, you face these giants with a confidence that transcends reason. You don't need to be reminded of your worth or your capability. You know deep within the power that fuels you. When challenges loom before you, your response is not one of fear or hesitation, but of certainty. The strength you carry disarms those who seek to intimidate or control, those who rely on appearances or grand gestures. They do not understand how someone so unassuming, so unarmed by the world's standards, can stand unwavering. But this confidence, this inner knowledge of purpose, is something they cannot comprehend or counter. Just as David's faith shattered the arrogance of Goliath, your belief in yourself, a belief that stands firm against all odds, leaves your challenges dismantled, powerless against the unyielding force of conviction. This is the unseen power within you, a presence that speaks of purpose without ever needing words. Like David, your strength does not require others to recognize it. It exists independent of applause or approval. Others may dismiss, underestimate, or ignore it. But in the critical moment, it will rise, unhindered and undeniable, revealing itself as a power far greater than any outward display. Like David, you are a warrior of quiet strength, an unexpected force that doesn't seek the spotlight but shines when most needed, a reminder that true power resides not in appearances, but in the steadfast resolve of a heart aligned with truth. You, like David, are not simply a figure among others. You are a symbol of resilience, a testament to the power of unwavering courage. David's victory over Goliath was not just a personal triumph. It ignited hope within his people, inspiring them to believe in something greater than the physical size of their enemy. Your presence, too, becomes this inspiration. In a world that often measures worth by appearance or status, you embody a different kind of power, a strength rooted in authenticity and purpose. Just as David's unexpected victory sent waves of courage through his people, your determination under pressure infuses those around you with renewed strength, reminding them of their own capacity to overcome. The trials you face are not random hurdles. They are the lions and bears that confront you in the fields of your life, challenges meant to awaken your deeper courage. Like David's early encounters with wild beasts that prepared him for his future role as a leader, each challenge you encounter is a refining fire, honing your character and solidifying your purpose. These are not moments to evade or diminish. They are vital encounters that reveal the depth of your strength. Just as David saw the lion and bear as a test of his faith and skill, you confront your obstacles, understanding that they sharpen your resolve, transforming you into a force that cannot be swayed by external pressures or threats. In rising to meet these tests, you become a living testament to the unstoppable power of authenticity and divine alignment. Just as Hercules in mythology faced his own series of arduous trials that pushed him to the limits, each victory drawing out his indomitable will, your own encounters with adversity reveal to others what true strength looks like. It is not in sheer physical power or the visible accumulation of victories, but in the resilience to stay aligned with your inner truth, regardless of the external battles. You show others that strength is not about conquering others, but about remaining unswayed in the face of chaos, a steady force that cannot be compromised or defeated. This strength within you, forged through experience, becomes a beacon, a guiding light for those who feel overwhelmed or hesitant. Your unshakable stance in the face of adversity demonstrates that power does not come from domination, but from a heart and mind rooted in purpose. Like David, whose authenticity and alignment with his calling allowed him to achieve the unthinkable, you reveal to others the transformative force of inner strength. It is this strength that endures, that inspires, and that ultimately reshapes the world around you, proving that true resilience comes from within, a quiet, yet unstoppable force that cannot be defeated. They misjudged you, assuming kindness meant vulnerability, mistaking gentleness for weakness. They couldn't fathom that your spirit, unyielding yet gracious, is guided by a force far beyond human grasp. Your kindness is not born from meekness, but from an unbreakable justice woven into your essence. This justice is not of earthly origin. It's the kind that resides in the depths of creation itself, a force moving through you, illuminating every step you take. They didn't see it coming. This justice that doesn't need anger or violence to assert itself. You stand there, your purity radiating like a light that makes no apology for its brilliance, and in that light, their illusions wither away. Their misjudgments crumble under the weight of your truth, for they were unprepared to face a purity that demands nothing yet changes everything. Your presence sends shockwaves, quiet yet unstoppable, shifting the atmosphere like a silent thunder that reverberates deep into the hearts of those around you. They feel it, the unsettling weight of your purpose, a vibration that pierces through layers of pretense and ego. This purity that fuels you is not passive. It's an active force that disrupts, dismantles, and reveals. They may attempt to keep their composure, but your very essence speaks to something primal within them. It shakes them at their core, forcing them to confront the truth they would rather ignore. They find themselves stripped of their facades, vulnerable before a power they neither understand nor control. Like the prophets who stood unwavering before kings and empires, your purpose echoes through the hearts of those around you, leaving an impact that goes beyond words or actions. And then, there is the justice that comes through revelation, a mirror that you, a chosen one, hold without even lifting a hand. By embodying truth, you reflect back to others their own realities, presenting them with a choice to see themselves as they truly are. This mirror is relentless, unflinching, revealing motives and intentions without distortion. You serve as this mirror not by design but by divine purpose, an agent of truth that brings each person face to face with the consequences of their actions. They may resist it, may look away, but in your presence there is nowhere to hide. This is not a judgment of words, it's the silent weight of revelation, the justice that forces acknowledgement. It's the same justice that led prophets to speak truth to power, to call out kings and leaders, not with threats, but with a conviction that shattered illusions and called forth the truth buried beneath lies. Moses embodied this same unyielding justice. Standing before Pharaoh, Moses was not armed with weapons or armies. He was armed with truth and purpose. Each word he spoke, every message he delivered, was a revelation that stripped away the facade of Egypt's power. Pharaoh's heart grew hard, not because of Moses' threats, but because of the purity of his calling, a calling that confronted Pharaoh's pride and tyranny head-on. Moses was the mirror through which Pharaoh saw his own cruelty, his own refusal to yield. In Moses, there was a divine justice that neither cowered nor compromised. Pharaoh may have misjudged him, seen him as a mere shepherd, but in the end, it was Moses' purpose that prevailed, a justice that freed an entire people and exposed the oppressor's hollow strength. Esther too carried this profound justice within her. Surrounded by deception and schemes in a royal court, she maintained her quiet strength, not allowing herself to be swept into the currents of manipulation around her. When the time came to reveal her identity and her people's plight, her courage became a mirror for the court, exposing the treachery and corruption that had been festering unseen. Haman, the one who had plotted so carefully, found himself undone, not by Esther's aggression, but by her purity and her willingness to stand in her truth. Her revelation was her weapon, a justice that toppled Haman's plans and brought accountability to those who had hidden behind titles and power. Esther's victory was not only a victory for her people, but a demonstration of divine justice, where truth itself dismantled the schemes of the powerful. In the same way, you embody this justice. They may underestimate you, assume your kindness makes you pliable, but they do so at their own peril. Your truth is relentless, and in your presence they are forced to face themselves, forced to reckon with the impact of their choices. The divine justice within you is not silent or passive. It works in every interaction, every encounter, bringing light to what was hidden. You stand as an unbreakable mirror, a force that cannot be diminished, a chosen one who, by simply being, brings a justice only the divine could orchestrate. Your purity as a chosen one is not mere innocence. It is a weapon, a power forged in the depths of divine intention, unbreakable and uncorruptible. This purity is not a soft vulnerability, but a fierce strength, a force of light so intense that nothing impure can touch it without being exposed. You carry a power that operates in realms unseen, a light that slices through shadows, revealing and unraveling all attempts at deception or harm. In you, purity is a shield and a sword, guarding your essence while radiating a strength that others cannot comprehend. Those who seek to undermine you find themselves facing a force far beyond what they had anticipated, for in your hands, purity is not passive, it is active, a light that cleanses, protects, and, in its unwavering presence, transforms. This divine purity is not yours alone. It acts as a shield for others, a sanctuary immune to the manipulation of lesser intentions. Through you, those around you find protection, wrapped in the incorruptible energy that flows from your spirit. You embody a divine favor that places an unbreachable barrier around your heart, making any attempts to distort or manipulate fall flat, repelled by the very essence of your being. This favor is not earned, it is given, a gift from powers that defy human understanding. You stand as a testament to this divine immunity, proof that purity, when divinely fortified, is indestructible. Those who try to maneuver around your integrity find their plans crumbling, unraveling in the light of your purpose. Protected by a power they cannot touch or understand, you are untouchable in ways they cannot see, a fortress built of divine will. Your justice is not something you need to enforce. It flows naturally from the purity within you, a silent retribution that requires no words, no actions, only your presence. When others misjudge you, when they think they can manipulate or control you, the light within you brings forth a justice that operates beyond their understanding. This justice is quiet, like a river moving beneath the surface, yet it is as inevitable as the dawn. Those who seek to deceive you find themselves ensnared by their own deceit, undone by the very schemes they thought would trap you. The light you carry is a mirror, one that reflects intentions and actions back upon those who wield them, bringing an inescapable accountability. This silent retribution is not vengeance, it is a natural consequence, the way truth brings shadow to light, the way purity demands balance. Daniel, thrown into a den of lions for his unwavering faith, stood as a beacon of divine justice protected by purity. Surrounded by predators, he remained untouched, as if the lions themselves recognized the divine favor shielding him. Daniel's purity did not seek to confront or retaliate, it simply existed, a quiet power that transformed danger into safety. His presence alone shifted the nature of the den, his faith and purity rendering him untouchable, as the lions lay subdued by the light they could not comprehend. Joseph, sold by his own brothers and wronged by false accusations, embodied this same purity as a quiet force of justice. Though imprisoned and betrayed, he remained steadfast, his uncorruptible spirit untouched by the darkness surrounding him. His purity shielded him, silently orchestrating justice as he rose to power and transformed the very land that had once enslaved him. In Joseph, purity was an unbreakable shield, protecting him and turning misfortune into triumph without any need for vengeance. You too carry this silent, sacred retribution. Those who think they can manipulate or harm you discover that the purity within you is beyond their reach, an unassailable force that acts as both protection and justice. You do not need to seek revenge, for your light transforms those who misjudge you. In the end, your purity prevails, serving a justice that is quiet yet absolute, a justice that reveals truth and renders all impurity powerless. This is the role of purity in the divine justice of a chosen one, a sacred force that needs no defense, for it is both shield and sword, both protector and avenger. Step fully into your role as a beacon of justice, standing tall in the purity that is your birthright. Trust in the divine power that moves through you, a power that doesn't need to shout, but whose presence alone shifts the very ground beneath deception. Own your impact. Let it be undeniable. When you walk with authenticity, others have no choice but to confront the truth you carry. Stand firm, unafraid to let your light be seen, for it is this unwavering purity that dismantles falsehood and holds others accountable to their own truth. Know that every time you choose to be true to yourself, your impact grows, rippling outward with an unbreakable force. Each moment you remain true-hearted strengthens your purpose, enabling you to embody a justice that reverberates with every step, a justice that doesn't waver or seek approval. In this evolution, your presence alone becomes a sanctuary for others who crave truth and integrity, a silent revolution against all that tries to conceal or manipulate. The purity you carry is not just a shield, it is a sword that carves a path for others, making space for honesty and revealing the light where shadows once thrived. To every chosen one, this is your call to step forward boldly. Embrace your unique purity, for it is a vessel of divine justice meant to shake deception at its roots. Stand as the unyielding force you are, lifting truth high, unmoved by what others might misunderstand. Your voice, your truth, and your light are needed now more than ever. Share your stories. Stand as you are, and let the world see what it truly means to be a vessel of divine justice.